Hello everybody, welcome to my channel Ellumacent Art. I'm Scott and hope you're all having a wonderful day. Now if you catch my video yesterday where I showed you what card stock is the best to go for or to use for your homemade TCG and your projects, you'll know yesterday I actually didn't cut the cards out. Now there's a really good reason for this, and that is for this video today. But before we jump into this video guys, I just want to give a shout out to Chris from Holographic and a big thank you to his shout out and his video that he posted today. So thank you Chris, I really do appreciate the feedback and the support and the fact that you actually gave a big shout out to the community that I created with alongside Anna from Dawn Rhapsody and Colin from Extremely Average Games. Because our community is somewhere where you can actually promote your game, and actually we try our best to share our knowledge of you guys, so you don't have to always go to the game crafter, and you'll find different ways that you can actually make your cards and your games yourself. Now that all said and done, let's jump into today's video. So we're going to work our way up to what this video is all about, like a little grand finale with a little bit of a drum roll going on. But as I said in the beginning of this video, if you caught my video yesterday, do not worry if you didn't, I will put a card right up there. But I tested different types of card stocks and we got two of the really good ones right here. These are my favorite out of the test that we did yesterday. So why didn't I cut them out? That is a really good question, and because this is stage 2 now of the little drum roll. You'll know I mostly am known for making hollow shiny cards. This is why I've dimmed the light a little bit to pick up the holographic effect. And don't worry, I will put a card right up there where I showed you how to make your own homemade holographic cards like this. Because this is just amazing. I love making these. And I've done another type again. I will put a video right up there where I showed you how to make foil versions where you can actually see everything. Hello, you can actually see me in there. So you'll know me for them. But is there a secret special third way? We'll find out. Is this what this video is going to be? Well, let's bring in the drum roll. Bam! So yeah, this is what we're actually building up to today for this video. So let's just move these out of the way for now. Which is, I found another type of foil that might do a better job than the ones I'm currently using. So I thought, why not give it a go and see if this actually does a better job. If it does, you guys have a third way of making your own homemade holographic cards. Now granted, this is not cheap. Compared to the holographic film I used to make this type and this type, it does cost about 50% more to make with these. But the good thing about this is, this you just put onto your cards and that is it. You just cut your cards out. Now you'll probably know why I didn't cut my card sheets out yesterday. And we're just going to take a quick look at the effects. Now, I could be wrong, but there is 4 different types of holographic film effects you can buy. There is a star one, and I will be ordering it because, as you guys know, I love the star effect. But my favorite, because every TCG kind of uses it, is this like crackle ice effect, which is right here. Now, every TCG, especially Yu-Gi-Oh! And Card Fight, has this kind of effect. And we've got another one right here, which is called a prism. And we've got the cracked ice one right here. Now, they don't just do A4. If you want to cut the costs a little bit, they do actually sell A5. Now A5 would be a great idea to do like special promotion packaging or special promotion cards, because you could just put 4 cards down, put this on top and then cut them out. And this is a really nice sequin effect one. Now don't worry, I will put all this in the description box below where I picked this up from. And sometimes the seller does actually give you offers as well. If you put it in your watch list, and occasionally the next day or two you'll get an offer. So another great way, another way I recommend this. And I got this really fast. The seller actually shipped this the next day. So again, great customer feedback and support there, and a really great product. Now how well will it perform when it goes onto the card? Well, let's find out. So let's bring in the cards from yesterday. And we're going to start off with, I'm going to do one type of A4 on this one and one type of A4 film on this one. So I'm going to start off with the cracked ice one, and I'm going to be using my favorite one, which is the like really nice satin matte finish on the back and the glossy front. So all I need to do is move these off to the side, crack open the little packaging, bring the sheet out, and I have to say this is really pretty. And I think all we need to do is take the backing off. That's probably going to be a pain on camera to do because I've got no fingernails. And 50 years later, I managed to actually peel the corner away. So I'm going to have to think carefully how I'm going to do this because I don't want to mess this up. So I'm going to gradually, carefully pull that back. And as long as it goes on the cards, I am not too bothered about how how well I've put this on straight or not, because it's going on the cards and we're only cutting the middle part out anyway. So I'm going to give this a nice good flatten down. Let's give it, make sure it's flat now. I'm going to turn it over just to make sure there's no air bubbles. So we're going to push and push and push, and there we go. So let's quickly take a look. I have to say I am really amazed by that. That has turned out amazingly for saying this is actually a film that you just put on top. Now the good thing about the film is, and I was surprised about this, the fact that the thickness of the film is only 40 micron. That is a lot better than using 100 micron, and it actually gives you a really nice finish, and the feel is really nice as well. It doesn't feel bitty or anything. And the good thing about this is your ink is not going to scratch off at all. You can scratch and scratch and the ink won't come off. Now the other methods, you have to be really careful, because with it being printed onto the foil, there is a very slight chance the ink could have chipped. With this, you don't have that problem. So that's a big thumbs up straight away with this. And the second big thumbs up is the fact that it gives your cards that really nice professional look, especially with the holographic effect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut one of these cards out just to save on time. I'm going to cut our main girl out here, which is Erica. So it's really easy to cut, but will it actually be able to corner without tearing the foil? So we'll find out. Let's do the corners. And that 40 micron makes it so much easier to cut without actually tearing it. Now just look at that effect. So that is one pass straight away with the scissors and the corner. But will it pass where most foils fail for me? And that is basically using a guillotine. Now, reason being, most foils are that thick with the card that when you actually use a guillotine blade, it pulls, and it just pulls the film and tears it. That is why I use scissors most of the time to get this effect. Now, I'm going to use a guillotine now to see, will this tear this when we use a guillotine? So let's bring the cards in, and now we're just going to push on the blade. And as you can see, that blade does not want to go. That means, that indicates if it's not going, do not force it anymore, because if we pull the blade back and pull this out, you can see why I don't use a guillotine when it comes to making shiny cards. That reason right there. So I'm going to free up these two cards. And let's just do the corners for these. And that is why, guys, you see me using a big pair of scissors compared to using a guillotine, because all a guillotine will do, especially when you're using film, is just tear the film, and it will ruin your film and you will lose money. So if it doesn't go through, as the old saying goes, do not force it. But that is one method we've got, that is one effect. And we're now going to try the other effect that I bought. So that is the ice one all done. And don't worry, we'll take a final look at these once I've done the next one. So let's put these off to the side, and I'll cut these out later. Get out of here, guillotine, because for this you are useless. So let's bring in the next set of cards and the next foil, which is this one right here, which is the prism. So we know the case, we know the drill. We're just going to pull this open, pull out a sheet, and if you're anything like me with no nails, spend 50 years trying to take the backing off. So please bear with me, guys. I literally have no nails. Oh wow, this one was a lot easier to peel off. I do take that back. There we go, just peel that off. Again, do not worry too much about it going on straight. As long as you've covered your cards up, that's the key thing here. And just give it all a good pat down. Now this is very holographic. And I'm just going to flip this over. I'm just going to take a quick look. Now, I will say, in person, this looks alright. On camera, you'll probably think that is way too holographic. But as you can see, in certain light, everything is still readable. And it looks a lot better in person. But don't worry, this is still a really good holographic film to use. Because as you can see, if I move the camera and the light a little bit, everything is nice and readable. It's just the way I've got two lights going on right now. It's just going like a disco right now because of the effect the light has on the holographic. But anyway, let's cut these out. Get this good corner round in now. To wrap up this video, guys, the first thing I want to say is when reviewing this film, be very careful when you use it, because the minute you put it down and it's on an angle, or you've got a bubble or a crease, that is it, the film is ruined. So it does take a little bit of practice to get it right and actually be able to lay this down properly onto your cards. Because again, if you make a slight error or a slight crease on your cards and you're trying to adjust it, it'll pull the ink right off the card. So just be careful when using it. But you know, once you've got a knack of it, like these right here, you'll actually end up with really nice effects for holographic cards for your homemade TCGs and your projects. But once you got used to using the film, guys, and you got the hand of actually how to lay it down onto your cards, you'll end up with nice effects like these right here. So I've got the prism one right here, I've got the sequin one, and I've got the ice one right there. So we're just going to take a quick look at each one. So take a look at the prism one. I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorites because even though there's a lot of holographic stuff going on right there, you can still see the text quite clearly. And another good thing about this film is because the artwork is underneath, your artwork is protected. You're not going to scratch or chip off any of the ink, which is another plus. So that's the prism one. I'm just going to flick through the samples we've got here. And because I use my single sheet double print method where I've got my fronts on one side and the backs on a single piece of card, these actually feel like proper TCG cards. These don't feel handmade, which is what I was after. So these actually feel like something you'd get in, like, say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon, and that is the effect we are going for when we're making our homemade cards. The next one I'm going to look at is probably my all-time favourite one for this, which I didn't expect at the start, but this is just absolutely gorgeous. This definitely reminds me of the type of shiny that Card Fight Vanguard use for their holographic cards, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Granted, I only had A5 pieces, so I was aiming to be able to make a few cards out of it, but these are two of my favourite cards. It actually had a really nice effect on. So that has been the actual sequin. And last but not least is the more traditional type, which is basically the ice crackle, or whatever you want to call it, ice crackle. And most but all TCGs use this effect. And I have to say, it's still a really nice effect. It's not all in your face. So if you want something that has a subtle holographic look to it, this gives you that, and you still got all your depth of colour and your text right there. And again, with the artwork underneath, this is all protected. So you won't have to sleeve these, unlike the ones I used to use. Now, talking about that, you're probably wondering, well, Scott, how do these compare to the other types of homemade shiny cards you've used with different foils? So let's grab the ones I showed you earlier, which are these two right here, which is the one where you actually print your artwork onto the actual holographic film and then put your card together. And sadly for this, you do need to have a sleeve because sometimes you will chip the ink off. But that is why I'm really enjoying these ones, because I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to sleeve them because the ink is protected, because the ink is underneath the film, unlike this one where the ink is on the film. So you have to be really careful when using these. That is why I sleeve them. But if we get, say, the sequin one, and we just compare them, because sequin one is obviously my favourite one right now, which I am still surprised about. I have to say, comparing the colour is a lot better. This seems a little bit too faded for me, but this has all the colour because it's not printed onto the film, so it's not transparent ink, and I am really happy with that. So yeah, this outdoes my other method, but this method is still good if you want an alternative to this method. So the last method I've showed you how to do on my channel for making homemade shiny cards is the foil version, where you basically print onto the foil. And how does this compare? So we're going to grab a little old Erica here. And again, I am still blown away by this type of foil, because even subtle holographic effect like this still works quite well. The foil, again, this is still a little bit where you got to take some care and look after it, because the ink can chip off. And again, you don't have that problem with this, so you don't have to sleeve them. So how do I rank these out of 10? I'd give this method, the one I showed you how to use where you print onto holographic film, about a 8 out of 10, just because of the slight chipping issue you can get. It's very rare that it happens, but it does happen, and that is why I sleeve them. I'd give the foil one probably a 7 out of 10, because yeah, you get the colour, but it is kind of, you know, saturated, but that's because it's a mirror effect. But the mirror effect does give you an element of uniqueness, and it is still a nice effect to have for your cards. But this, all of these are 10 out of 10. Yeah, there is, as I say, you have to be very careful when you're putting the film on your card, because once it's down, you can actually mess it up, and that is obviously a lot of money wasted. But once you know how to use it and you get it perfectly all the time, where you're not going to be chipping the ink, where you're not going to need sleeves unless you really want to use them to preserve the card. So that has been it, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll probably be making my homemade holographic cards in this method from now on, but let me know your thoughts. Again, if you find my tutorials useful and you do end up creating cards or any packaging from my tutorials, let me know. Also post them on the Homeforge Games community Facebook page, because I'd love to see them and I'd love to see the results you get from using my tutorials. But anyway, what do you think to this yourselves, guys? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be back with another video real soon. So take care, guys, have a wonderful day, have fun making TCGs, and if you're new to this channel and you're enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button, because the support truly means the world to me. And always give me a big thumbs up if you find these tutorials useful. Other than that, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.